and welcome back to the Missy podcast, the messiest podcast in the world. We're just taking everyday people's stories from their messes to successes. I've lost my coffee. I wanted to get on here today to do a monologue, an update. I've come so far in such a short period of time, but it feels like it's taken forever. Does that resonate with you? So, about a month ago, it's been a month, and I called it starting over, restarting. I felt that I was in this space of starting stop for a year now, longer. I was in this space of starting, stopping, starting, stopping, starting, stopping, starting, stopping. I wasn't quitting, I wasn't giving up, but I just wasn't continuing. I wasn't seeing anything through to completion, but it wasn't even getting to something that was complete. It was about getting to just keep going. So about a month ago, this is just like a restart, starting over, rebuilding update on the messy world. I think more women, midlife women who have been through a lot of loss, a lot of change, a lot of chaos, a lot of messes need this. You need this message. So here I am, always with coffee. So about a month ago, I restarted the podcast, and I had literally crazy how it works. March must be my month for movement. Every year for the past 3 or 4 years, I have started a project in March, and I've posted it in March every year. And it's just crazy how that works. So if you're listening and you know something about why that might be, I would love to hear why start, stop, and restart in March, every March. But this time is different. This time, I don't want to say it's an awakening, a reawakening, but it is. But it's different. I needed time and space and what a lot of people call grace, but I didn't understand the grace part while I was going through so much life change and so much pain. And so I just had this message, and I think it's a God speaking to me. It's a communication. It's like start the podcast again, but this time keep going. And so I look back, and I think there's so many of us out there who have started something and then paused, and started and restarted many times over. And life gets in the way. It just does. There's nothing you can do to prevent that. Maybe there is. Are you listening, and have you found a way to power through? And I'm not talking about like the little setbacks. I'm talking about the big messes, the big changes in life. The things that we tie our identity to. So, marriage, wife, kids, mom, work, job title, job position, all of that has just it became who I was. It's just day in and day out. Your identity shows up in your actions. I am a runner. I am a mom. I am a wife. I am an ex-wife. I am a CEO of a healthcare company. I am a leader of a phenomenal executive team. It's like all of these I am statements because that's what you're showing up as in life every single day. It's your identity. There's nothing wrong with that. There's such an emphasis now on like this identity, but what I what I really want to talk about is like what happens when it's all gone? What happens when life changes in such a dramatic way that you're not a wife anymore, you're an ex-wife. You're not your kids aren't at you'll always be a mom or your kids aren't at home anymore, they're out at school. Your job is no longer there, so you're reinventing yourself and it becomes an obstacle and an opportunity at the same time. You can become whoever you want, but how do you get there? And then you start and stop and start and stop, and you try new things along the way, and then things get messy and it feels like failure, or you lose your financial stability. I mean, job loss and divorce are some major financial setbacks. And the statistics around women in divorce and the it's a really, really bad outlook on our future if we don't do something about it. It doesn't have to be that way. It's just that's what the statistics tell us, that divorce for a woman can be a major setback in finances. A majority of them go bankrupt. Women through divorce go bankrupt. You can't sustain a life without a major change. And I truly believe in building businesses. And my mission the past couple of years has been to build beautiful businesses and beautiful lives. If you love your business, you're going to love your life. If you love your life, you're going to love your business. They go hand in hand. So that's the mission here, is truly to build a beautiful business and build a beautiful life through your messes. And your identity morphs along the way. So what have I been doing? For the past month, I've been really focused on a few different things that have helped me change who I've been in a great way for the past 3 years. Because I was stuck, I was depressed, I was down and out, I was lost. All of the change and the loss of these things that I used to identify with were gone. And so I had to redefine actions and start to take different actions and rebuild. And in this past month, I am telling you, if you're in this messy middle season, if you're in this area of life where everything feels wrong, feels dark, feels hopeless, I drink a lot. If it feels all that way, number one, you're not alone. Like, you're not alone. And my mission is to really pull back those layers of everybody's got messy stories. Everybody has messy things to tell, and messy things that have happened to them. Probably, and it's not a competition, but maybe even worse than what you're going through. And so listen to the stories of the podcasts that I'm meeting incredible people who have taken really terrible situations that they've been given in life, handed terrible situations, gone through from infidelity to um divorce to health, I mean, major health issues, chronic illness, death, job loss, like all of that, and what they've been able to do through it. And so I'm back, and I'm back, and I don't know how long I'm back for. That's the craziest part to me. And you're on this journey with me and follow along. So I started the podcast again. And what I'm walking you through right now is my journey on the rebuild, the restart, and the what now I've pivoted to the keep going. And I'm giving you an update on things I've been working on because I want you to see what it takes. I want you to follow a person in real life, mid 40s, kids, divorced, job loss, marriage loss, home loss, finance loss. Like, I want you to follow somebody who's been through the thick of it and how I'm actually working through it every day, week, month, and then hopefully we'll get to 90 days, which will be a quarter worth of work. And I've shared this with you then I've gone to YouTube lives every morning. I missed the past 3 mornings, because two of them I was traveling, and a third one this morning. I wanted to start off with a Momentum Monday, but quite honestly, Monday felt overwhelming because Monday I was waking up in a new place I'm staying. I still am looking for settling into a home. And I call it kind of the transition day is just, it was just harder for me to wake up with a clear head. Every Sunday, consistently, I use every Sunday as my planning day, um, for the week, for the week ahead. So I've developed tools in the past 3 years since I've gone through all of these messes that I spoke about. I've developed tools that help me, that work for me, that will work for you, um, on things to do to get through it faster. And I think that that's also a big part of why I do what I do, why I want to help you, because you can do this alone, um, and you can stumble and fall and pick yourself up again. But it's going to take a lot longer if you do this alone than if you were to get into a community or work with, become friends with, follow somebody who is doing it. Oh, I'm sorry, who has done it. And you can follow me, and you can get through your mess faster. So every Sunday I plan, and then I use a framework. I've coined it the Messy to Momentum framework. I developed this quad system through, and you're going to hear about this forever because it has changed my life. It has made me go from a to-do list. I was just surviving for years, the past 2 or 3 years, on a to-do list and just crossing things off the to-do list. But they weren't helping me develop my business plan. They weren't helping me stick with my business. They weren't helping me grow. And they weren't pushing me out of my comfort zone. They were helping me just survive. And so I've been using this quad system and it's scientifically proven. So it started with Dwight D. Eisenhower, and it morphed into, Stephen Covey took it and used it as a time management tool. And I've made it into something that will help you move through your messes and help you rebuild and build your life back faster while building something else, while building a business, while building something, an online space to create revenue. So whatever you want to call like your business, you have a dream, you have something in your heart that you want to build. Let's build it. And this quad system, this tool helps you do that. And so I've been doing the podcast, recording episodes. I'm creating a new series within the podcast. The series is called I Lost Everything, everything, dot, dot, dot. And it's going to be very special. It's going to be very insightful. The past, I've recorded 4 episodes now of I Lost Everything. The people I'm meeting, the way that they've overcome such adversity, the trials and tribulations they've lived through, but not just lived through, built through. What they've built as a byproduct of the mess that they've lived through is it's incredible. And I hope that you'll listen to that. I don't know when it's coming out yet. I was honestly living in such a dark place that I wouldn't even look at a calendar. I wouldn't use a calendar. And so I went out and I didn't go out. I built this calendar. It's a very, very old school, but not. Why this calendar? Why this template? It makes me made me, I put it all together. A friend of mine pointed out to me that I hadn't put the whole year. I was refusing to look at the whole year. I was refusing to look forward. It's not like I was refusing. I had this block about looking forward, planning ahead. I couldn't plan. All I could do was survive in the day. That's all I could do was survive the day. If I can help you get through that part of mess and not just survive the day, but really start to plan out, that would mean the world to me. So this template made me sit down and write out the months and really fill in the whole month, number each day of the month, number them with pen to paper, and then write things that I know are happening in that month. And I use it every single day. And then I use the mess to momentum quad system framework that I've built. And I use that as a planning tool for Sundays and then into the next week every day. And then I put together the podcasts and the series, and I've been meeting new people that way. So if you're in this like hiding mode, if you're in this hibernation part time of your life, you can listen to this podcast, you can watch my updates, you can take what you want from it. I just want you to know that you're not going through the messiest time of your life alone. You're not going through the hardest time of your life alone. You might not know who you are. You might not be able to identify with the messy middle right now. And that's okay. But I went from messy, I went from lost and confused to what I've been able to determine lately was this like identity shift, if you will. And I write to myself every day. So what I was able to come up with, and I'll take you through a little bit of it. Um, I just don't want to go down too many rabbit holes or lose you. So, um, this probably needs to be more well organized, but I'm just doing this real. Where do you start? And again, I'm like taking you through kind of my thought process here. So it's real, it's raw. I mean, it is very real. Where do you start again? Question mark. Start with the heart. The heart is sustainable. The heart is sustainability. From there, you can start over and you can rebuild. God will use the pain you didn't choose to reveal the purpose you didn't see. I'll repeat that one. God will use the pain you didn't choose to reveal the purpose you didn't see. I understand you didn't choose the pain. I understand you're probably thinking that it's so painful. Like, how could there possibly be purpose inside of that pain? Like, why does it have to be painful and purposeful? So I went down to who, who am I? And down, I mean like down, not like downstairs. I went inside. Who am I? I needed to start to make promises to myself that I could keep. I reflected on the fact that I have made a lot of promises that I didn't keep. Starting, stopping, restarting. That's not keeping. That's not keeping promises. So, how do I start to show up authentically as me? I need to keep the promises I make to myself and to others. And all along this route of the past month, I kept reflecting on my conversation with God. And all I kept hearing back was keep doing what you're doing. Keep going. I will make a way. Don't stop. Don't worry. Don't overthink. Keep going. So I promised that I would show up. I promised that I will keep going. I promise that I will keep my promises. And in return, please keep yours because you always have. I don't know how long this podcast has been recording, but I hate to go like through everything so quickly. So I'm wondering if this should be like a part one and then I should do more subsequent parts. Because if you're in an identity crisis, you need to start with the heart. And you need to start with who you are. And you need to start with the promises that you can make, and keep, because you have to keep going. We don't have a choice to keep going through. It's how are we going to go through? And what does it look like? What does going through it look like? And so if you can work through who you are, that will really help you through the process, through this process. So I want to talk about who I am. I am the woman who helps you rebuild your life and income after losing everything without pretending it's pretty. There's a before and there's an after. But even in the after, there's still a messy middle. There's the rebuilding through. Before life was great, dot, dot, dot. After the loss, dot, dot, dot. The pieces fall and the aftermath is messy. But then comes the rebuilding, the starting, the restarting, and then finally comes the keep going. And you may see nothing happening, but you keep going through it. And it's the getting back up again and again and again. And then it shifts to I keep going through. So we're building beautiful businesses, we're building beautiful lives through our messes. I want to help people. I want to help you through your mess. I want to help you know that you can shift. You have to shift your identity. You have to. You have no choice. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And so I invite you to follow along on this journey of mine. I've got so much more now to look forward to than I ever could have imagined after such devastating loss and life setbacks the past several years. Come along. I've met incredible people, want to meet more. And I will give you updates along the way because this is my journey through it. This is real. It's raw. It's real. It's ugly. It's messy. Maybe it's beautiful too. And I hope it's inspiring and empowering. And I've really found that movement is so important. In any way you can move, that is the key to all of this. And don't try to do it when you feel ready, when it looks good, when, you've lost the weight, when the divorce papers are signed, when it's not ever going to happen that way. So it's now. It's showing up every day. It's the keeping going. And that's my message for you today. If I were sitting across the table, sharing a cup of coffee with you. I don't I don't care where you've been. I don't care where you are. I want to know where you want to go. Tell me where you want to go, and we can make we can make it happen. You can get there. You can. You don't have to stay in a loveless marriage. You don't have to stay in the corporate cubicle crying your eyeballs out because you hate your job so much. You don't have to stay in fill in the blank. You can't be afraid of the messes. You can't be afraid of the setbacks or of the failures, but you can move through it and keep going. I just did it for 1 month and I've rewired my story. It's my internal dialogue. That thing is, that it just doesn't stop. I just don't shut up inside my head. But you can refocus. As soon as you start working on building towards a goal you have, and goals, that's a whole nother thing. Setting up goals, working towards goals, that's so obtuse. It's so out there. That's not even what you can, that is not even supposed to be, it's not on our to-dos. It's resetting the way we look at goals and to-do lists and dreams and vision boards and what we have to get done versus what we want to get done and what we need to get done and how we change our energy and change our reality. That is all in the mess to success or mess to momentum framework. And that's what you learn to work off of every day. And for a year, all all my words in my quad system kind of just stuck there on paper. And one day I was like, wait, nothing's moving. I'm not crossing anything off. I'm not, why are things still staying here? I'm going to do the podcast or I'm not going to do the podcast. I'm going to build the business or I'm not going to build the business. I'm going to invite you to my community or I'm not going to have a community. So get in. Oh my gosh. What did I call? I worked on building out the community last night. You can laugh because now, honestly, it was so late at night and I kept hitting so many snags building my back end business. Like your back end is the tools that you put together to send emails and if you have an ebook or a digital item that you want to sell or like the way I set my podcast up and coordinating all the guests on the calendars and my website, that's all my back end. And that's what I've also been building in this past month as well. I've one to I have the Messy to Momentum one-to-one session where we can work together for 90 minutes. I built that whole thing out. You can read all about it. I have the Mess to Momentum framework. You can get a free copy of that. Like that's all my back end. That's what I've been working on. And then um, I built out a community for you to join. And it was so late at night and I kept hitting all these like IT snags, if you will. Um, the oh my goodness, it's so funny. So it's the mess to momentum room that I've also put together. for you. Get in a room, get in a space, talk to somebody or work with somebody that's been through what you've been through, or work with in a community of people who are like-minded, but not necessarily where you are. They're a couple steps ahead of where you are. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to surround yourself with. So that's been the Missy podcast update. I will see you back here on our next mess because there's always another one.